Joining me now is musician, singer-songwriter, music and photography teacher, and photographer, Patti Steel. Welcome back to
Hey,
the show, Patti.
thanks, Wendy. It's been a while, but it's
It
nice to be back.
has. So good to see you.
You
And
as well.
I thought you were perfect for this episode. We're talking about music and art and wellness. Research shows that music can decrease blood pressure, decrease heart rate, improve mood, decrease anxiety, help with sleep, all these things. But I wondered, as a musician, if you're able to realize those benefits with the type of lifestyle that you have to lead as a musician. So, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think it can if you're smart about it. Like my dilemma that I'm coming to face these days is I want to be everywhere all the time. And I just literally can't do it. It's just,
Right.
it's just impossible. So I'm trying to find a good, healthy balance of work because I work because I love it and I want everything to go right. So in order to do that, I need to make sure I'm giving myself my me time. And
Okay.
I've been struggling with that through this season, just mostly because it's the fall season. This is the best season because of the festivals.
Right.
And,
That's true.
it's just that you just have to make sure, so I try to make sure throughout the day that I like take maybe an hour and just rest. And whatever rest might be for me, like just sitting in a chair and relaxing my mind or laying down, taking a nap or taking a bath or sitting outside and just watching the people walk by on the walking trail, whatever it takes, just
Right.
I'm trying to at least do that.
So taking some personal time is become part of keeping yourself healthy. It sounds like.
Yes.
I mean, I would, musicians and artists. I'm in the artist category. Our brain is always creating, often, right?
Yes.
And we want to participate in many, many things. So sometimes self-care can take a back seat, even though what we're creating may help someone else to reduce anxiety, reduce blood pressure, whatever it happens to be. So it's good that you're doing that. So do you think that your own personal wellness and health was affected in any way by the lifestyle that comes
Oh,
with it?
yes. I mean, because prior to playing full time, I was much better about self care. I mean, it's just automatic. When I started playing, it took a back seat, because to get the shows, you have to jump all these hurdles to get shows, and then to get people to go to the shows is yet another hurdle that you have to do. And so there's so many hurdles. I don't think people quite understand the depth of what it takes to truly be like a regularly performing musician. It's a lot of sacrifice, and I'm willing to give it up because I don't have children and I don't have a husband or a wife, so I don't have that. I just have me. But my dilemma, like I was saying, is just making sure I'm taking care of myself. And this year I had a lot of health come my way that I had to deal with. And I'm trying real hard, as we've talked about in the past, is trying to make sure I'm doing what I need, to make it good for me.
Right.
Because I got to stay alive, because if I'm not alive, I can't play music.
Well, right.
So.
And I really believe we're here to fulfill our purpose and have a happy life. Sometimes some professions, like being a musician, makes it hard for the person who is doing it, right?
Right.
And so you came up with these health challenges. And how have you faced them? And how has that impacted how you schedule yourself? Have you had to make changes?
Yes, all of the above. So first, in January, I was diagnosed as diabetic and high blood pressure. I knew I was going to have both of these because they are in my genes from both sides. So I've done the best I can. I immediately went to see my doctor and to see what I could do to make healthy changes that I could afford, because that's the biggest hurdle. Is I can make healthy changes, but I can't afford to do all the things that they recommend, like having a good healthy workout schedule at a gym is one thing they want. And it's like, well, I can't afford a gym membership. I can't put that money aside, even though I need to, because it is for betterment, but I don't know how I'm going to juggle that with all the other things I'm trying to do. It's like, it's this constant sliding scale of things.
Sure. Right. Some people might say, oh, just prioritize it. Right. But they may not understand the intricacies of being on the road, show today, get on the road again, do another show. It doesn't lend itself to setting aside that time.
No. And the other thing is, eating better. And so that was the first challenge was, okay, so I never really was a bad eater so much, but there were definitely things that I needed to not be having. And, occasionally I like to have drinks just like anybody would. Sure. And so that was the first thing I took out of my diet was drinking alcohol or
congratulations.
It wasn't a hard stretch for me because I hardly drank anyway, but I just tried to now I try to just limit it to like maybe 1 or 2 occasionally and very seldom, and drink a lot of water, which wasn't a problem either because I love water. So
nice,
but
there, that's a big change for your own health. And those are things that, whether you're a musician and you're busy and your schedule's crazy or anyone, right? Those are things that you can do, right off the bat, and cut out soda. I don't know if you're a soda drinker, but
I never really had. I do like to have the occasional cherry limeade from Sonic, but it's so seldom that I feel like it's okay. And I try to keep it to a medium size, not get them the big ones I used to get. So
right, it's like a treat. It's good to have a treat now and then.
I treat myself exactly. My hurdle was ice cream, and it still is. Like that is the one I can't give up. I've tried.
It's so good.
It is. So what I've done is like when I do crave it, I try, and it's not perfect, but I try to at least get like frozen yogurt, or I'll try to get like those Walmart sells, and I can't think of the brand, but they don't use any sugar. It's all like
a
natural.
keto,
it's like a keto one. Yeah. So I have my first appointment next week, and I asked my doctor also to get me a dietitian to just kind of help get me on some better meal plans that I can afford, because that's the next part is, I can eat better, but I can't afford it,
See, and that it's so hard, organic food, of course, is more expensive. Vegetables and fruits can be more expensive fresh, and you've got to use them. So if you're going to go out on the road, if you buy a bunch of fresh stuff, it's packing it up and bringing it with you, and it adds another layer of things to do for sure.
Yes, very much so. And it can be very challenging, but it's not impossible. It's just like it takes coordinating and getting used to that coordination, like getting into a routine. And that's what I really need is a routine, because I feel like if I could get myself into a real good routine, playing all these shows and teaching and doing all the things I do would probably go much smoother if I had a better system.
Right.
But I wasn't making the plan when I started this year. There was no plan for Patti Steel to go out and play solo shows. That was never on my agenda. I was going to play with all the bands that you've seen me play with. But that didn't happen that way.
Right.
And a lot of those bands some broke up, some are taking a break, some are people are going different directions, which happens.
Sure.
And it's so it was like, okay, so Patti, you're a supporting artist, so you need to learn how to be the artist, because if you want to keep doing this, you're going to have to.
Right. I understand. So do you have advice for musicians and artists who are kind of starting out to, what would you tell your younger self, and what would you tell somebody who's newly in this? So how to take care of themselves and move forward with their career?
Well, I think the thing I've recently started doing is probably something good to get into is make sure you're taking every day, you're taking the time necessary to, you know, time manage yourself, you know, make sure you're giving enough time to yourself, because you need to be able to shower and brush your teeth and have your breakfast. And
Yes.
I mean, I know that sounds so simple, but for a person who's staying up really late, but then has to get up early to be on podcast or, this type of thing. And then you still got to, I mean, I was on the phone with AT&T right up until we met,
Right.
trying to adjust my payments, because it's like I'm paying too much and I can't afford it, and it's not helping me. So now we're on a better plan for me. And
Good.
And then we
Yeah,
found a discount.
Right, good. Yeah, I mean, that's stressful too, all of it,
Yeah.
So to be able to do what you do, I think that's good advice. Take time for
Yeah.
yourself every day, manage your bills, take care of your body, and then step into what you're doing. I think that's very good advice. So where can people find your music, Patti?
Well, the best way to start is just go pattiesteel.com. I have a .com.
Nice, nice.
But I'm all over. I'm on YouTube. I have one song recorded right now on Spotify that was a co-write with Dominic Roy. And I also have, but my YouTube page is where I'm trying to get things.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking about starting a Patreon
Nice.
to get some of these songs that I'm like in the process of writing and I'm not quite done, and to get, more advice or, even just like more praise, or maybe people will say, oh, I don't like that one. Maybe you should try this way, or, like just more conversation.
Feedback.
Feedback is the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I had a really great festival at Winfield this year. I was able to play with David Mayfield. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he is a big artist, and he's a Grammy nominated producer as well as musician. He was fascinated with my spoon playing. That's what started the...
I bet he was. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And he asked me to join him to play on a set on the stage. And then we'll just say you should go to my Facebook page and watch the video, because it's pretty funny. Like
Nice.
The thing about him that's special is he's a performer. Like, so he doesn't just sing and play and be the best musician, but he also puts on a show. And that whole night we had this whole chemistry thing going on between us that I'm not used to, because I'm not used to having someone who's theatrical on stage. And I finally felt like I met a match,
Nice.
like a music.
You are very theatrical when you have the space to do it. I saw you perform at a club in Fayetteville that I'm not going to remember at the moment.
That's okay.
And I was just, it made me so happy watching you. Really, you really.
I'm delighted.
It was with the clarinet, and you make it a very entertaining performance. So thank you for that.
I worked very hard on it. What's really great though is at the very end of the conversation between he and I is that I think he wants to record my first album.
Wonderful.
So he lives in Ohio. So, getting all the things worked out is still up in the air, and we don't know when or anything. But so I'm looking forward to working with him, because he knows exactly what sound I would want. We've talked about it,
Yeah, that's wonderful. I can't wait to see what happens.
I know, me too. I'm so excited.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Patti.